Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Regent. So, a few months ago, when I moved out on my own, I was, of course, looking for a job down here in San Diego, and I really didn't want to just go to like the fucking supermarket and work a minimum wage job and just do some dumb shit like that. So I started perusing Craigslist and just see what I could come up with. Like, I figured there must be some kind of skilled work on there that I might be able to squeeze myself into. So I came across a few things. Most of them were all garbage. Some of them were odd jobs that I really wasn't interested in. But I did come across one thing that caught my eye, and I'm sure catches many other people's eye. So it was an advertisement for some kind of assistant, and it was actually advertised as a receptionist job in San Diego paying $19 an hour. So I jumped on that shit pretty quick. It sounded great to me. Didn't have much of a description, just a location and a wage. Or so I emailed them, and I got an email back pretty quick, and gave me all kinds of information. It gave me a name, which I'm sure wasn't his real name, but he gave me a name, and he explained to me the job, which wasn't anything like the advertised job on Craigslist, and nor was the wage paid the same. But anyways, I wasn't too worried because it was still supposed to be really good money. So he wanted various things like my phone number, which I gave to him because it couldn't be a real big deal anyway. So I gave him my phone number, and we had a few text conversations, and I was already slightly nervous because he didn't speak very good English. Now, at first, he spoke only slightly broken English. It was only broken enough to seem like he was just lazy and couldn't be bothered to type out proper grammar in English. And so I just kind of went with it. So the first task he gave me was to buy things for a charity. And to a lot of people, I'm sure that would sound kind of strange. Why would a rich person just want to do that? But actually, I've taken a few business courses, and that's actually quite a common thing. Businesses or wealthy people hold charity events, or I suppose donate to charity just to keep their status quo, I suppose, up. And so I figured, okay, that's fair enough. I can do that. And I wondered, well, how's he gonna give me this money to pay for it? He's obviously not just gonna expect me to pay for it with my own money. And then what would he get out of that anyways? So anyways, I said, okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. And he said, fantastic. Give me your address and I will send you a check. I thought, a check? Interesting. I said, yeah, sure, you have my address. Not like you could send me anything worse than like some shit in a box or like break down my door or something. And I wasn't too worried about that. So I gave him my address. He said, okay, there will be a check coming your way. I priority shipped it. It should be there in like 2 days. I said, okay, I'll let you know whenever I get it. And so a couple days go by and I check the mail. And to my surprise, I open the mailbox and there's a priority mail shipping envelope thing in it. And I say, holy shit, there's actually something in here. And I open it up and I pull out a check for something like $2,200. And I thought, okay, what the fuck? I'm actually holding a check for $2,200, and it's completely legit. It has the name of a business on it, it has a bank on it, which was slightly weird because it said Middlesex Bank of nothing. And that sounds like a fairly fake bank if you ask pretty much anybody. But I could believe it. It was believable enough. So I had a plan. I thought, well, I'm not just going to try and cash this because I'm sure there's all kinds of repercussions that could happen there. And as I found out, there is. I went to my bank and I asked them, hey, can you find out if this check is fraudulent? Why do you need to know that? Who'd you get it from? And I said, well, shit, I don't want to sound like an idiot here, but I also don't want to sound that sketchy. And I just said, well, I don't really want to go that much into detail from where I got it from, but I don't think it's from a credible source. She said, okay, well, our fraud people are here only on the weekdays, and it was a weekend. So I said, shit, okay, I'll try and figure out something. I said, thank you. I left. And so I texted the guy. I said, hey, my bank's not open on the weekends. Could you just give me till Monday? And he said, sure, but I need to know when you cash that check immediately. I was like, okay. And he kept telling me that. He said, have you cashed a check yet? Have you cashed a check yet? And if I didn't respond to him within 5 minutes, he was like, hey, are you still there? And I was like, what the fuck? I said, okay, well, I just need more time, but I had another idea. I thought, I'm gonna go to one of those fucking instant cash check things. Like, you know, like, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but there are these stores you can take checks to, and they'll just give you cash for them. And instead of having to put a check in your bank and waiting for it to go through or whatever, you can just get cash immediately for them. So I went there, and I was like, I'm just gonna try and figure this out, because I knew it would probably be an issue if I just tried to give him a check anyways. So I go in there, and I guess I picked the worst possible store to go into, because there's like this couple, some sort of foreign couple in there, and they're trying to get a loan, and they were clearly not very good with money. You could just tell from what the fuck they were saying, but they were basically trying to be talked into getting a loan, and they just couldn't decide if they wanted to do it, and they had to be explained it like 10 times, and I was just like, shit, and I waited there for like 20 minutes for this to happen. So anyways, I eventually get up to the counter, and I said, okay, so before I give you this check, how would you like know if it was a fraudulent check and you just give cash to somebody and take their check? Obviously he was slightly sketched out that I said that, but anyways, he was like, well, we have a third-party company and he's like, this does look legitimate enough that a store like this would give you cash for it, but they would definitely just send it to their fraud department, and then they'd send the police after you because your name's on the check and you signed it. I said, oh, right, well, thanks anyways, and I just left. He's like, yep, no problem, but if I were you, I wouldn't do anything with that check. And I was like, all right, thanks, man. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, that's that. So I waited till Monday came around, and I texted the guy. I said, okay, I put the check in the bank. And he said, okay, really? Let me know immediately whenever it goes in. And I was like, oh, yeah, it didn't take any time to go in. It's just in there. He's like, okay, what I need you to do now is go to Walmart and like money order or some shit. I guess Walmart does this weird like money transfer shit. And I need you to send, I need you to keep $700 of that check and send the remainder to these two names. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? So now, basically his plans have all been revealed, and I figured out how he was going to get the money, which was basically my question the whole time and what I was trying to figure out. And so that was the end of it. I had a little bit of fun with him I had a little bit of fun with him before I stopped texting him, and I just kind of said, oh, so that's how you get your money, and then I just kind of told him he's a cunt. And that was the end of it. He never texted me back after that, and I think I still have that check sitting in my key bowl or some shit. And yeah, so if I ever need like $2,200, I could just cash it and then run away to Mexico or whatever. So that's about it. So if I can give one piece of advice from this whole story, that old adage, or whatever you call it, that old saying, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, that is pretty much something you can rely on your whole life. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. So be careful out there, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.